Hi, my name's Dan, and this video is the first in a short series that I'm doing that I'm calling RPG Characters. I want to make absolutely clear at this point that this is not about personality and characterization that you'd find in narrative. This is about the mechanics that underlie player characters predominantly, and other characters sometimes in RPGs, role-playing games. Kicking off this, I want to do some basics. I'm just going to quickly talk about what these mechanics are that I'm going to explore in the rest of the videos. To be honest, if you've played RPGs, you probably know this stuff anyway, so if that's you, then feel forward to flick through to the next video and start getting into the details. For the rest of you, or if you're just curious as to what I'm going to say, I'm going to do quite a quick introduction to the mechanics that I'm going to be talking about in the rest of this series. So here we go then, RPG mechanics. They come from, or certainly the perception is that they come largely from pen and paper role-playing games. Dungeons and Dragons First Edition was, I believe, 1975. Here's a picture of what it looked like when it first came out. There were similar things previous to Dungeons and Dragons, and some of these mechanics have come through from there, but D&D pulled everything together and made this core set of ideas that has infused and influenced RPGs ever since. So it's been a hugely influential thing. Okay, so I'm going to in this series, we're going to talk about three things. I'm going to give the background for two of them in this video. So basic stats. When you have a character that you're playing in an RPG, these are the numbers that represent the characteristics, mostly physical, but some of them mental, that are the strengths and weaknesses of that character. So these are things like strength, agility, intelligence, etc. There are different sets in different games for good reasons. And these numbers are then used for the gameplay, for the working out the rules, especially for the combat, but they affect other things as well, potentially. So there are some that might affect the prices that you get in shops, or the influence you might have over other people, or how fast you can move around the world. All sorts of things might be affected by these basic stats. These stats are generally thought of as being the rock at the bottom of the foundation that holds up the rest of this edifice that is role playing games, RPGs. The second one is XP and levels, and so XP is short for experience points. Sometimes this is shortened to EXP instead, which is short for experience rather than XP for experience points. And these are points that you are given as you play. It's an accumulative number, so it keeps adding up. You very rarely in games get to lose them, but in some games you can. And they're usually given as a reward for combat kills. Here's an example in the red ring there. This is from Call of Duty Warzone. And for other things like for quest completion, or to be honest, for anything else you want to reward. In pen and paper games, they're usually given for succeeding at an encounter, which doesn't necessarily mean that was combat. It could have been using persuasion or something else. So they're used as a reward for good role playing as well. And these XP points, these points go towards determining what level you are as a character, what level your character is that you're playing. So you start at level 1 at the start of the game. When your XP reaches a specific amount, you level up, which means you go up to level 2. And then you keep repeating this. So when you get to the next threshold, you go up. And the whole point of this is that there will be some advancements. So leveling drives the advancement, is used as a trigger for giving your character more stuff, more abilities, sometimes that influences the stats that you've got. There's all sorts of things. And the third thing that I'm going to talk about in the series, which doesn't actually, I'm not focusing on so strongly in this video, um, is the idea of skills, perks, talents, etc., which are part of this leveling up advancement that you get. So that's a quick background underpinning, stating all the obvious things that I'm sure you really knew anyway if you were watching this video. So that's it from me for now.